Okay, so I've been holding off on watching this until I personally had finished it and did my video, which has already been done in the main channel. I didn't want it to watch anybody else's opinion so that I would have like my opinion completely unfiltered and all of that. But I've been really wanting to watch Zepla's thoughts on the story of Endwalker and all of that stuff. So we're going to be watching that. And in the background, I'll be doing some random mining in Labyrinthos. So let's go.
Hey Buns. So I finished the Endwalker main story quests. And if you finished it too, then you know. Like, if you know, you know. And I'm not going to be spoilery in this video.
Dude, you can see that she finished it not that long ago. It's still fresh. This was one of the reasons why I wanted to wait a couple of days before I did mine. Because, yeah, I was like this as well. She recorded it after the credits. Oh, damn, dude. Oh, dude. Like, here's the thing. Like, between the last dungeon and trial and all of that, and just the last zone, I took a break in between the process, what had happened in that last zone. Because, again, no spoilers, but the stuff that happens in that last zone, whew, it had me in tears many times over. It's like, and the worst part is that you could see it was coming, and it would still just like hit you like a ton of bricks every single time. It's so good, but at the same time, so strong.
Today, I'm going to talk about my impressions in general thematic terms. I think there's a lot that I want to say about it.
Her voice is
that
still
I
very
won't need to be
nasally.
spoilery for. My initial very spoiler reactions will be on the second channel, Zepla, the Clips channel. So, okay, God, I feel like I've been hit by a truck, and at the same time,
super happy.
It was so beautiful. It was spectacular. It was
big agree.
Heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking and spectacular. It's so weird.
Pretty good video game expansion, you know. Like, this is a masterpiece of fiction.
Yep.
From the storytelling, which on its own is incredible, but being immersed in this beautiful world with music that just really pulls at your heartstrings at exactly, like, I'm amazed by how well they planned out every single moment to make it all perfect, make it all just right. This is an experience that asks and answers the question, why should we go on living? I don't think I've ever mentioned this on YouTube before, but there were some times in my life when I asked myself that question and I could not come up with an answer. And if it were not for the love and support of people around me, I don't think I would be here today. There were certainly some close.
There's going to be a lot of you guys that don't have the background information on Zepla, because I don't know how many of you guys watch like all of Zepla's videos and stuff. I've been following Zepla for a good long while. Like, I actually watched stuff from Zepla before I played Final Fantasy XIV. So I've been watching Zepla stuff for a good while. And like, if you know Zepla's background and you play through Endwalker, you'll have it's almost like knowing Zepla's background and playing through Endwalker gives you additional background into this particular video, gives you a lot of additional background information into this particular video. It's almost like playing Realm Reborn, Heaven's Word, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers, and then playing Endwalker. It's like, I can see why the subject matter resonated.
What I can say is a really
as much as it did for
really
her.
Dark point in my life was around the time that I started playing Final Fantasy XIV. So for me, this has been a really powerful personal message in a meta way. This game gave me something to look forward to every day. Like, it gave me something that I was suddenly excited about, I fell in love with, in a time when I felt like I didn't have any passions left. I was really stagnating and I felt lost. But joining the Scions all those years ago, it changed my life. And that's before the YouTube channel. Like, the YouTube channel has been an incredible journey too. And so looking back on all this time that I've been playing and experiencing this saga, I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for all the joy and all the hope that it brought me when I needed it. And there have been, of course, other times during the past 5-6 years when I had horrible things happen, and this game was a refuge for me then as well. The community, friends I've made through this game are lifelong friends now. I can't imagine my life without some of the people I've met through this game. All that lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. As we've heard in the launch trailer, we struggle, oftentimes in vain. We will likely not be forgotten as the generations pass, records lost that we ever existed. Looking back on history, so many graveyards filled with nameless dead. It's easy to ask the question, what reason is there to prolong the pain?
Damn. Jesus. This is crazy. Like, this resonated with, like, the story really resonated with me, even though, you know, I don't have clearly the same background as she does, but still, like, I did not know it had that much of an impact. And I had an idea, but yeah, Jesus.
And at times it seems like the kinder fate would be putting those suffering out of their misery. If you look at the long game here, and that's a question at the center of Endwalker's story. And Endwalker does answer it, because as you play, you're made to see that although, yes, to live is to suffer, that isn't just a cynical take. Like, oh, well, life is suffering, so we should just give up. It's that without sorrow, joy loses its flavor.
It's the yin and yang.
Without strife, without something to fight for, something to energize you, there's just stagnation, just existing, but not really reliving. And it's so fitting to address this question at the end of the Hydaelyn Zodiark story arc, because the game, in its own way, does ask you to move on, to walk forward, to walk free towards the future. But I find myself resisting it, lamenting what's lost, like the memories of old friends, old characters. But lingering in the past is a sort of imprisonment. The only way to be free is to walk towards the future, into all the limitless possibility that stretches out before us. But we need not walk that path alone. That's what Endwalker is about. It's about looking at the end when it seems there's no path forward, and then finding the strength to take that next step into the unknown, to trail the new path if you need to. And that's where the game is going now. We have to trail some new path. There were moments in the story when I had a dungeon or a trial, and I just opened the party finder, and so many of you buns joined my party right away, and that was really heartwarming. Like, it reminded me of times when, for me, in my real life, I was grieving when I was playing this game. Like, I had stuff going on in my real life that was really bad, and I lost people close to me, and this community came together and helped me move forward. A lot of that is actually mirrored in the story. Endwalker blatantly reminds you of
that cut, she probably lost it a little bit there.
All of the people who helped you along the way. It asks you to hold those memories in your heart, not as a reason to dwell in the past, but as a reason to carry on. Their voices lifting you up as a reminder of love for life, as the rising tide that lifts all boats. And as we look back on the Hydaelyn Zodiark saga, we see that this is a message that has always been present. When Louis said, Where there is life, there is cause for hope. My heart is very heavy. Like, I woke up today and I just couldn't believe, damn, it still hurts so much. Like, maybe I am extra. Okay, I admit I'm a little extra, but it still hurts a lot. But it's so bittersweet. I just can't help but wonder where our journey will lead it from here. At journey's end, will we meet again? Where will we go? How can we?
It's like, again, without touching up on spoilers, it's like I can understand exactly everything she's saying, but I can understand if someone hasn't played through it, you guys will be like, what the hell is she talking about? Like, this is crazy talk. What is going on? Like, I could see some people thinking that way, but let me tell you, if you finish Endwalker, literally everything she's saying makes perfect sense. And I understand all of the themes that she's talking about, and all of that stuff really, really resonates with me as well. Like, the final moments of the game and the stuff that takes place in the final moments of the game is just is rough, dude. It is very, very rough. Who is she? She's a content creator for Final Fantasy XIV. She does tons and tons of 14 videos, which is why I'm super interested in her take.
Start over after everything that's happened. Like, we cannot simply go back to being a level 1 adventurer and like killing 5 ladybugs. You know, like, we're way past that now, and I can't help but ask, like, what could possibly invest me so deeply as the saga that, gosh, it's a lot. It's been so much to process, and as you can see, I'm kind of working through all of the processing here through this video, so it might be a little rambly, but I'm hurt, man. I've never been hurt so bad by something fictional. Like, I thought Shadowbringers hurt me bad. Endwalker makes Shadowbringers look like child's play. Like,
I wouldn't go that far.
You so bad that you had to remind.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that it makes it look like child's play. I think that's recency bias. I wouldn't go that far. Like, Shadowbringers still hits you where you live as well, as does Heaven's Word. Especially in a lot of ways. There's, you guys know the one thing that happens in Evan, like, it hits you where, the game just in general hits you where you live. Like, just because Endwalker swings really hard, it doesn't mean that the ones that came before it swing any less harder. I think that was a little bit of recency bias.
Remind yourself that it's not real.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm just like, just remember that it's fiction. It's not really real. That is not helping at all. It's really not. That has not helped a little bit. I know so many of you watched my playthrough, and a lot of y'all wrote me later and said that you were there with me every step of the way. When I cried, when I bawled, you cried. Like, there were times when, like, I was crying so much. My whole body was shaking. So I guess all those clips will be on the second channel.
I'm not surprised at all.
Soon enough. But you've been there. You have been there with me throughout this journey. I'm slowly getting more ready to take that next step into the unknown. I am eagerly anticipating the raid story, which appears to be a story in conjunction with the Highland Zodiac arc that I hope will... I can't say I hope it's going to make me feel better. I doubt that's possible.
It won't. It definitely won't.
I hope it will make me feel better. I can't think of anything. Okay, I just want it to make me feel better. That's all. Even though I don't think that's gonna happen. I know, like, maybe you're hearing me say, like, oh, I'm so hurt and I'm heartbroken. Like, and it might sound like I'm being negative, but I swear, I don't think I would have wanted it any other way. It was such a beautiful and such a satisfying conclusion. It will not disappoint.
Oh yeah.
If you're not done yet, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
It is important to mention, like, this is something that I mentioned in my own video, is like, you will only get this level of investment that Zepla has in it if you play through the previous expansions as well. I feel like if you play Endwalker by itself, you'll feel none of this. Like, you might be like, yeah, it was an okay story. Yeah. But you won't feel this. You know what I mean? Like, you might get, you might get a little bit and you'd be like, but you're not going to get this. If you skip it, you miss it, basically. That's the way that goes.
God, but it will hurt. I think one of the reasons why it cut so deep is because it felt so personal, like I mentioned before, but I don't think you had to have gone through some of the things that I went through in my life to feel moved by this.
You don't. I can guarantee you don't.
Fundamental questions that we face being alive. These are fundamental truths about the human experience that we all share and questions that we all have. Like, what does it mean to be alive? However fleeting it is to have life, however insignificant it may seem, it's still unique to us. We have our subjective experience and it's not disposable, as all possibilities stretch out ahead. In the dark, where there's a will, there's a way. Life finds a way. Maybe I would be a little less heartbroken if I got some idea of what lies ahead, but I also feel like it was necessary to have this moment of silence, almost, where it's unclear. What's most heartbreaking about this is that I guess it has all felt incredibly final. There's so many loose ends tied up, and I think it's natural to sort of pull back from that and wish for the comfort of the past and wish for the comfort of things that are familiar to you. But the adventurer spirit is all about embracing new horizons and being excited about the journeys to come and the adventures to come. And so I'm in this kind of weird state where I feel like I'm torn between the past and future. So I think
a lot of players will be as well.
Shed some valuable light on that. Maybe the Lion story too. We just know so little about it. It's hard to speculate. But the dungeons were wow. Like, what? I don't even know where to begin with the dungeons.
Is so good.
I think that Endwalker has the most awesome, cool dungeons the game has seen so far. Some of the most spectacular zones that the game has ever had so far. And you might see I'm struggling a little bit to say things without being spoilery, and I worry about.
Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard to talk about it without being spoilery. How can I make videos that are not
spoilery? Because for Endwalker, pretty much every trial and dungeon is super spoilery, and the zones are spoilery too. Like, there's huge zones.
Dude, for those of you that weren't here yesterday, like, I was trying to keep the stream as spoiler-free as possible because, like, the expert dungeons, they're not that spoilery in my opinion. There's no story there or anything, so it's fine. So I was just doing those, and then suddenly someone in chat said, "Oh, you should check out the totem weapons, the real deal." And I go in there, and it just says the names of the trials, and I was like, "No, no, God damn it, no! Why would you do this?"
That are massively spoilery. So I don't know how I'm going to avoid this.
It's
I really
hard.
don't. But I need to think on it. It might not be possible, but I mean, I understand there's a lot of people that watch that are not caught up, and I really don't want to ruin anything. So I will do my best here, but be careful on social media because a lot of this is just seeing a screenshot could be a spoiler now. What an experience. Hear that sigh I just did? Look, this is what I've been doing. Like, walking around my house, like, every once in a while I'll just be like making dinner, and I'm just like like, I'm finding myself when I get in game going back to some areas that were important to the story and just standing there, like, staring off into the distance.
Oh, the
Like,
music.
I cannot understate how much of an impact this story had on me, and I know if you've gone through it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what, because guess what? When I go to those spots and I just stare off into the distance, there's a bunch of other people doing that too. So it's like we're all there, like just suffering together, and I'm just, it's funny because, you know,
It's not funny at all. I don't know what
it
you're talking
caused me
about.
so much pain, and yet I find myself returning to these very places that cause me the most pain. Because why? Because it feels great. It feels amazing to feel so alive, to feel so much passion, to feel the heartbreak, to feel the journey and like the memories of everything that you love, even if the curtain has fallen on the final chapter in the tale of this star. I feel immense gratitude to have been able to experience this game and this story. I feel a bit of trepidation about walking forward, taking the next step, but I also have faith in this writing team. Like, I have faith in the dev team that we have more new cool adventures in store for us, and that new story arc will begin in 6.1 and continue onwards. So I have hope for the future. I'm looking forward to the future, but at the same time, God, it cut deep. It cut so deep, and I loved every second of it. I think I've said my piece on this. I sure would like to hear your comments, how you feel about it. I apologize if this ended up being really rambly and not specific enough. I couldn't be too specific because I didn't want to be
too
spoilery,
specific. It's
but
hard.
I don't think that I needed to get my point across of the things that I'm feeling right now based on the overarching message of Endwalker. If you want my spoilery first reactions that I said immediately after I finished the story, like I said before, check Zepla channel. It's the second channel.
We will probably check that one out later.
I'll slowly be uploading the playthrough there in like long videos there too. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I've pretty much just been occupying myself by obsessing over the music and trying to learn the songs and singing the songs. And
this music that she is playing right now, I've listened to it every single day since I've finished the game. Well, actually, before I finished the game, I've listened to it every single day since after I finished the last zone of the game. At some point in my day, every single time, I listen to that music. At some point or another, every single day.
Endwalker and yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I
the last area.
So thank you so much for watching, and be careful on social media if you haven't finished Endwalker yet.
It's hard.
Okay. Now, if you did like this video, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free just by clicking the subscribe button or by sharing this video with your fellow warriors of light. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Yep.
Last week.
Wait. Make sure to get in here and hit it up with a like. Make sure to hit that video up with a like. That was some good stuff.